Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we have some exciting tidbits for the Ahsoka series. Bespin Bulletin, a good friend of the channel, has released a few updates regarding production for Star Wars Ahsoka, and we also have some set leaks which reveal something really awesome, so let's dive into it. As we know, filming for the series was due to take place at Manhattan Beach Studios in late April. Well, it's now believed this has been pushed to early May. The late April production date was corroborated by The Hollywood Reporter, and while that was the official AIM start date, it's now been pushed back a few days, but it's nothing major and no big deal whatsoever. The series is still on track to release in 2023. But as I said, my dear friends, this production update does come with some interesting set leaks and details. Bespin say that they were told over 3 weeks ago that sets due to be constructed at a train yard appear to be some kind of temple ruins. You can see these in the picture on screen. They speculate it's some sort of Jedi temple, with sources telling them the set looks like ancient Roman ruins. Now last week they managed to get a glimpse at the sets being built, and the most fascinating part of this picture is on the right hand side, where we see what looks to be the legs of a statue leading to feet at the bottom. Now instantly my mind went straight to the Jedi Temple on Voragus Vars. And hopefully my dear Megalorians, you can kind of see why I thought that. The set being built does look quite similar to the ruins of that Jedi Temple. Now this temple first appeared in Vader Down issue number 1 and has appeared sporadically in the Vader comics as well as several novels. With so little known, my dear friends, anything is on the table with these ruins, but to hypothesize, with Ahsoka having had clear ties to the Jedi in her past, venturing out to an old temple as part of her quest would be a natural choice. And while she's still presumably not a Jedi herself, Ezra Bridger is, and it's possible the temple could leave hints as to his whereabouts. If Ezra visited the site at any point following Rebels, then he may have left a trail for Ahsoka and Sabine to follow. But the big remaining question is where the ruins of this temple could be. Since we don't know where Ezra and Thrawn ended up after the Rebels finale, we presume that Ahsoka got a solid clue from the Magistrate in The Mandalorian Season 2, and there is a good chance the temple is somewhere in the unknown regions of space, somewhere few Jedi would have had the opportunity to explore. Now while Bespin Bulletin are saying this could be a Jedi temple, the ruins could just as well be a Sith temple. I speculated over on Star Wars Santa's stream that we might be looking at a temple similar to the one on Malachor from Rebels, a Sith temple. And evidently here the blue screen in the background means that there are endless possibilities as to what kind of background scenery this is going to end up having. But as I say, at this early stage, we can only speculate. And speaking of temple ruins, I really hope we see some live action flashbacks to Rebels. Knowing that Hayden Christensen is involved, imagine if we get a flashback to Ahsoka's duel with Vader over on Malachor. Twilight of the Apprentice is a Star Wars Rebels fan favourite, and Dave Filoni once expressed his love for that 2-episode arc. The possibilities for this show are truly endless. More Ahsoka news is imminent, with Celebration less than 1 month away. And so now, my dear friends, we have an update for Star Wars A Droid Story, one of the shows that's remained extremely quiet since it was first announced in December of 2020. It was originally slated to release sometime in 2021, but obviously that time period came and went. However, in recent weeks, Bespin Bulletin have heard of various Lucasfilm-related happenings at Pinewood Studios in London. And apparently motion capture artists, actors, and movement performers have been hard at work on a Star Wars project at Pinewood. Their initial belief was that this was going to be for The Acolyte, but the Illuminati recently confirmed that production for that show is being pushed back to October. And with the heavy use of motion capture on this project, they now think it's to do with Star Wars A Droid Story, a show set to feature C-3PO and R2-D2 in their adventures with a new protagonist. The show is set to intersect animation and visual effects, with Lucasfilm Animation and ILM both working on the project. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much. You're now in for a very special treat, because the Clone Wars star Matt Lanter recently reacted to Hayden Christensen's recent comments about watching the Clone Wars and Rebels in preparation for Kenobi. Well, earlier this week, the SFF Gazette spoke with Matt Lanter about his role in DC Showcase Blue Beetle, and he was also asked for his thoughts on what his fellow Skywalker actor said about the Clone Wars. In his own words, Matt said the following: "I saw that. I'm happy that he went and checked out the Clone Wars and went public to say that. As an actor, actor to actor. I think that's really smart of him regardless of whether I voice the character or not. There is a wealth of knowledge to learn about Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. We had 7 seasons to develop this character. Hayden didn't have that opportunity in the films. He had a very tough job to take Anakin from a bratty teenager to the most iconic villain of all time in a very short amount of screen time. Matt went on to say, I haven't had a talk with him or anything, but I met him in 2019 at a Star Wars celebration, and he's really nice, a really great guy. At the time, he told me that he had seen some of the Clone Wars and how good he thought it was, saying, hey, what you guys are doing with that show is really great for the Star Wars universe. I knew he appreciated the Clone Wars, but it's awesome to hear that he watched it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new show along with everyone else. I can't wait. And Matt here really has a good point. Unfortunately, the animated shows like the Clone Wars and especially Star Wars Rebels get overlooked far too often. So the fact that Hayden went out of his way to highlight its importance and found it incredibly useful means so much to so many fans, and clearly Matt Lanter as well. As I like to say, both of these guys are just as much Anakin as one another. Both portrayals complement each other, and Matt Lanter was phenomenal doing the voice of Anakin in the animated shows. And most recently, he was Anakin's voice in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So it really warms my heart to hear Matt talk about Hayden in such a complimentary way. And the logical place we can take this conversation is that, fingers crossed, we do get some juicy Clone Wars flashback scenes in the Kenobi show. We know it's more or less a certainty at this point, but it's worth putting out there just how emotional and impactful that's going to be. Deborah Chow has hinted multiple times that this series is going to do justice to the legacy of George Lucas, and she cares a lot about continuity 10 years on from the prequels, so fan service was also going to be a crucial element to the success of this series. I feel like there's been too much hyperbole and exaggerated negativity, especially towards the leaks of this show. For some reasons, fans seem to think that Reva is going to take over the series. She's really not, guys. I've addressed this many times before, but don't believe the kind of things out there saying it's going to be a bait and switch and that Reva is going to be the main character. She's not. She is going to be a primary villain, and I think it's super exciting we're getting a new Inquisitor, but she's not the main character. You're still going to get tons of Kenobi and Darth Vader. So with that said, we're now just 27 days away from Obi-Wan Kenobi releasing on Disney+. How are you feeling towards the series? Let me know your thoughts of this and everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as always, a massive welcome if you are. And if you want to support the channel and get access to more videos that you can't find here on YouTube, then click the link down below. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.